If you're going to be successful in business, you have to be willing to hire people that are smarter than you.
You can't do it yourself. You have to have people that you trust.
Everybody is as important as the next person.
You have to take risks.
Every business should be prepared to be sold in 5 years.
Business Newsmakers is brought to you by Tompkins Mahopac Bank, your local, mobile, and remarkable community bank.
Hello and welcome to Hudson Valley News Network's Business Newsmakers Show, brought to you by Tompkins Mahopac Bank. I'm Filomena Fanelli of Impact PR and Communications, and I'm here today to give you an inside, up-close and personal look at the Hudson Valley's wow-worthy business leaders and community changemakers. Today, I'm fortunate to be joined by Yuwen Chen, owner of multiple Dunkin Donut stores right here in the Hudson Valley. Yuwen, thank you so much for taking time out of your crazy busy schedule to be with us.
Happy to be here.
Thank you so much. So there's people tuning in today who might not know just how many Dunkin Donuts stores you oversee here in the Hudson Valley. So can you tell us the number of them and where they're located?
Absolutely. So we're up to 14 stores at the moment.
Oh, wow.
They're all in Dutchess County, you know, pretty much on the closer to the western part of the county, north and south, and we just took over 8 stores back in the end of August, beginning of September of last year. So we went from 5 stores to 13 overnight. Yeah, it was a big leap, and it's been challenging. It's been good, but it's been challenging. It's you know, something we got to get used to. It's, you know, it's a little bit out of our comfort zone. But and then we just recently opened up our 14th on Route 9D in Wappingers. I was back right before Christmas in December.
So that's a lot of growth in a very short period of time.
You're not kidding.
Was growth always part of your plan, or was that an unexpected twist in growing your business?
We've always been looking to grow, but probably not at that rate and pace. But an opportunity came up where a neighboring franchisee was moving out of the state, was selling, so we jumped on it, and it's giving us, believe it or not, actually more growth opportunity on top of that. So when we took over those stores, the deal we had with the brand was that we have to build 5 more in 4 years.
Wow, so you've had to make an even bigger commitment, and it sounds like there's a bit of risk involved there. How do you weigh, when you're in business for yourself, as you are, how do you weigh the rewards versus those risks to figure out, is this a smart business decision for you?
Right, well, we run the numbers, we check our break-evens, and, you know, we see how we're going to be leveraged, and we, you know, run the numbers against each other and see how it works out. And we're also anticipating, we're hoping for, you know, a little bit bump in sales. So that's what we're hoping for. And on top of that, it's also been a defensive move. If we didn't do it, somebody else would be in our backyard, and they'd be the ones developing the 5 extra stores that are going to be popping up, you know, basically all around.
Speaking of competition, and especially within something like a national brand that's so recognizable to all of us, how do you build culture and a unique feel? You've obviously have these employees, and Dunkin has probably some standard ways of doing business, but how do you make that your own? How do you build a team?
Well, we've been fortunate to be in the area for a very long time. My parents started off with the first store back in 1982. So we've had a long-standing, you know, presence in this community, and, you know, me and my brother have been involved since the mid-90s. So we are hands-on. We're in the stores, so we, you know, our employees know us. You know, well, they did. Now we have so many stores; it's getting hard to make our rounds. But being there every day, you know, we put our stamp on the business, and it gives our stores an identity, and, you know, operate the way we want to operate. Now the challenging part is to keep that consistent throughout the whole network. Yeah,
I'm guessing you have to do a lot of hiring in your role. How many individuals does it take, how many employees, to run a single Dunkin Donuts store right now?
Every store is different, you know, depending on volume, depending on if you have a drive-through or not. There are a lot of different factors, but on average, you need anywhere from 15 to 25 per store. And have you found that there's a best way to find those people who are really, they're the face of your brand, right? And absolutely. How do you find those incredible people that are going to give the customers that seamless experience, that they're focused on getting that hot coffee and getting off to work, or picking up those donuts on the way to the kids' school, and not
the back end of your operations. How do you find those folks?
Well, we do have, on DunkinDonuts.com, there's a career opportunity there, and that's been a good source for us to find employees to fill roles, and then if, we have the good ones that are proving themselves to show a lot of promise. They know people too. They have friends, and they have, brothers or sisters that, if they are in the same, cut out of the same cloth, we're more than happy to interview them, bring them aboard, and that spreads the uniformity and the similar culture throughout the store. So that definitely helps.
Now, you mentioned you work with your brother. Are there unique challenges inherent to working in a business where there's other family members? And what are those for those out there who maybe are starting a business of their own with a loved one? What would you recommend?
There are challenges with any partners. There's always philosophical differences to a point, and I think working with family, at least if not for anything else, you can trust your partner for the most part. In our case, at least, and there's a comfort level there. And how we made it work is, and I suggest if somebody's starting out, to split up the duties. The way we did it was, we split up the network kind of in two. So I kind of oversee half of it, he oversees half of it, and we kind of stay out of each other's way for the most part, but we keep everything the same.
It sounds like there's a lot of smarts, but as any business owner knows, it isn't always smooth sailing, and sometimes our best learning opportunities are actually disguised as a mistake or a misstep. Have you ever had a moment in your business, and what did that look like, where you did something and you said, oh, if I could do that over again, I would do it differently?
No. Oh yeah, all the time. I mean, that's obviously how you learn. You summed it up pretty perfectly right there.
All right, well, because there's people who are tuning in who might be earlier on in their business model than you are, if you could look back at your younger self, Yuwen, and tell yourself something that you know now that you wish you know then, what would it be?
Keep an even keel.
Nice and calm.
To not get too emotional one way or the other. Things that are usually not as bad as they seem or not as good as they seem. So you want to keep an even keel and keep a level head. You don't want to rush into anything either. You want to make sure you do your due diligence and make sure your numbers add up. And you have to take risks. You have to take risks, but at the same time they need to be calculated. So you are going to have your fails, but it's about bouncing back.
Okay, so people out there, do not be afraid to fail. That is how you learn indeed. And are there any future plans for the Dunkin' Donuts stores that you own or will own in this area that you'd like to share with people who are tuning in today? Anything? What's next?
Well, the brand is coming out with a lot of changes. They are coming out with a whole new image, trying to get a little bit more high tech, a little bit more streamlined, and they're dropping the donuts off the name because we're basically a beverage-based company.
So it'll be just Dunkin'?
Just Dunkin', yeah.
Simply Dunkin'. You heard it here first, people. Just like that.
Donuts are only probably about 15% of our sales out of our mix, and beverage is about 60%. So, we're a big coffee company.
That's great. Well, we're looking forward to visiting before long Dunkin'. Thank you so much, Yuwen, for joining us on Business Newsmakers today.
It's my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Now it's time for this week's Tompkins Tip with Amy Greiner, Vice President of Business Development.
When is the right time to invest in the growth of your business? You may have the next big idea, so there are important topics to think about before taking the leap. Assess areas of expansion, whether it's the need for additional staff, office equipment, new business offerings, or another undertaking. Look at the financial investment required for the expansion and amount of funds available for the project versus how much money would have to be borrowed to finance it. Consult with experts on the best way to fulfill the business expansion needs, including accountants, attorneys, or other professionals. Determine if support measures and services are in place to accommodate the expansion, such as personnel, office space, infrastructure, and the like. If not, establish support measures before investing in the expansion to ensure a successful outcome. Once you think through these considerations, you'll be in much better shape to take on projects that will bring your business to the next level.
Business Newsmakers is brought to you by Tompkins Mayapack Bank, your local, mobile, and remarkable community bank.